Big thanks to Altered Self Games for sending me an early copy of this game. I am a big fan of 3D platformers, and on the other hand, I love rhythm games.
But in my mind, the two of those never crossed over. I mean, I've got my Marios and I've got my Tychos, but the other day I was sent a copy of Scuttle and the promise of a 3D platformer where you build Sonic-like momentum by staying on beat with the music.
At first I was like, yeah, right, that would never work.
I was worried that gameplay loop was just too overwhelming. I mean, keeping track of the music and the stage in front of you, that's a lot. But regardless, I was rather intrigued by the idea, so I went in with an open mind.
But it does kind of work, and it works well.
In Scuttle, you play as this little guy, and after Magic Turtle tells you to get moving and grooving, you do so, and you're off. The game starts off with an excellent tutorial that does a great job at keeping you from getting overwhelmed. You learn one thing at a time until the gameplay just flows, and when it flows, it feels real good. The stage designs do a really good job at feeling fun while pushing the beach theme forward. You go from sand to underwater to even a boardwalk, all while the stage design complements the gameplay. For the first half of the game, everything feels great as you hit the beach and jump through nautical themed stages with a wide variety of different obstacles that feel satisfying to dance through, all while accompanied by a solid soundtrack. The movement feels very much like modern 3D Sonic, and I think that's the best format you could have chose when developing a game like this. Why I say this is because nowadays Sonic is stuck in that weird boost format where you hit the button and you automatically go max speed, and while that's not exactly the case here, the only difference is the gameplay isn't mindless. The levels are a bit simpler, so you focus on the blend of mixing the beats and the gameplay, which it all rounds out to a very solid format for the first half of the game. The game takes about an hour to power through, which I think works in its favor. You can jump back into old levels to get a better score to get more time out of the game, but I think an hour was a perfect runtime. For the first 30 minutes you power through the stages, and then the last half you unlock the harder versions of each stage. The way the difficulty jumps is by changing up the beats as you play. Now you're both platforming, watching the new beat patterns, and hitting them to the rhythm. This quickly becomes incredibly overwhelming, and certain parts of the song get very hard to read the music as it goes. I wasn't really a big fan of the second half of the game. It was less a difficulty jump and more the game working against me, but I might just be bad at the game, so maybe my brain just couldn't handle it. Some players might find this enjoyable because yeah, it does shake up the gameplay a ton. And keep in mind, the game isn't out yet and it's still actively getting patched, but other than that, the only other issue I had is the game isn't super optimized. Like, I have a rather high powered computer and I was having significant frame rate issues. Thankfully, there is a menu to fully control how powerful you want the graphics and you could drop them as needed. All in all, just because I struggled with the last half, you gotta remember, all of it is an added bonus. Those are just extra levels. Scuttle takes a concept that I didn't think would work too well together and showed me that it can. While the difficult stages weren't for me, it's not a reason to skip this one. I had an amazing time with the main game and I would highly recommend you pick it up this July.